wine. I don't like to operate very well on my live stream. So I just wanted to do this last thought because this was supposed to be part of my last live stream. I had all my windows set up, and for some reason, this one disappeared. And so I didn't get a chance to talk about it in my last live stream. So I want to knock this one out. Um, Cardi B fans go off on her for many BBL fails, right? And before I get into this, because I'm not really going to center so much on, Cardi B and all her many surgeries, I'm actually going to center on with this young lady who got a BBL, is testifying about. And number one, Brazilian butt lifts are probably one of the most dangerous surgeries. Um, that a person can get. And anybody will tell you that Brazilian butt lifts are the most dangerous, one of the most dangerous. You're transferring a lot of your fat from one place to another, right? But what this lady is going to say is very interesting. I didn't know this. I heard guys say things like BBL smell. And then a doctor gets on the mic and say, well, yeah, that's because you have secretions, and it sounds all really weird, but he says that that should like kind of go away after a couple of months of that surgery. But you do have like a secretion, so there is a smell when you get these body enhancements like this, when you're transferring fat from one part of your body to the other. It's very dangerous. If they go too deep, it's instant death because you're gonna end up having pulmonary
Good.
issues.
I looked sense. You couldn't tell me.
So she's talking about her BBL.
What they don't tell you about BBLs is that the fat can die.
So she said what they don't tell you about BBLs is that the fat can die. So you're moving fat from your arms, you're moving fat from like all these undesirable areas, right? And you're transferring it into your butt, right? But what she says, what they don't tell you is that this fat can die. Now, I don't know if this is true.
What do you mean? What do you mean the fat dies?
So those are all fat cells. Yeah. Those fat cells, from being disturbed, from being moved, from being spun, and all the things that they need to it, original environment, they can die. Your body can reject it.
Yeah.
Right. So your body can reject your own fat cells because basically she's saying that you're disrupting it, you're moving it, to get to this targeted or desired area, right? So she's saying that it can die. So 2 months after she got her BBLs, the fat cells started to die. And this would kind of make sense to me because there was a guy he went viral for saying that BBLs smell, right? And, this doctor explained it that there's secretions that come out of these. But I'm wondering if, this secretions is also part of these fat cells might be, dying. Okay, this lady says they do. They said they smell like grease. So now he says a female hating on her own body. That is the biggest self-hate, Tyler. I agree with you, Tyler, because when they talk about how dangerous these surgeries are, it's like you really have to be striving for this construct of beauty. And beauty constructs, we see them over the decades, they have changed all the time, right? Thick was in, skinny was in, you know what I mean? It fluctuates, right? So to make a decision like that because of fad, I've heard girls say, I didn't really not like my body, but I saw all these other girls with these like more enhanced bodies. And so I just wanted to get one. So these women are taking the risk to, with their lives to meet a trend. Like, I mean, at what point do trends become like a point of like mental illness? Like just following trends. Like at what point do just following trends become a true mental illness? I'm curious about this because these women, I saw a picture, or I'm sorry, a YouTube video, and you can actually type on YouTube BBLs gone wrong. And you're going to hear all kinds of stories about women who have permanently mutilated their bodies, who have died. You're talking about mothers, talking about, I want a mommy makeover and I think I wanted to get back to, it's like, work out. Just work out. It's like you're talking about women with multiple kids. These risk factors are out there. The information is out there. I mean, if anything, to me, if nothing shocked these women to their senses, in my opinion, that Jackie O chick, what's the show? Wild and Out, right? Jackie O to me should have been like a wake up call for a lot of these women. But there was a young lady who was talking about her obsession with body, and she was like, what did she say? She said, I heard about Jackie O, but I had already put the money down. I was already committed and I didn't want to back out. And I pray for these people. I really do, because I don't know if this is self hate, mental illness, or just some type of satanic witching of the mind that is convincing these women to take this type of risk with their body. She's talking about they pull fat from areas of her body to make her butt bigger, her hips bigger, and within a matter of 2 months the fat started dying. Like, this is what they're saying. The guy's like,
that looks so good.
she said she loved her.
Bust down.
A couple of months after, that looks so good.
She loved her BBL. A couple of months
after.
after.
You tell me.
She said, you couldn't tell me nothing. So the BBL for her was a confidence booster. And a lot of these women will swear, this is not about men. I am doing this for me. I want to be able to look in the mirror and like the body that I see, right? It's not about the men, right? But they're wearing and they're wearing the tightest seductive things, right? Trying to seduce these men with their new carved body that some doctor done, doctored up for them to entice these men. They're sexualizing themselves. When you really think about what the BBL is, there's two things that's happening. You got women who are sexualizing themselves, but you also have women, some of them, who have had children and they want to achieve this body that really nursing moms achieve. You have to be full blown natural to get the BBL body. Really, I'm telling you, if you nurse your kids, you know what I'm talking about. Because when you have children, the most natural form of weight loss is nursing. But the double thing with nursing is it just like the kids are already going to spread you out, right? Like you heard that you got them childbearing hips. Once you start having kids, you are stretching out your core, right? Your hips are widening, right? But what happens is after you have the baby, right? If you nurse your baby, and I nursed for a total of like 4.5 years between my three kids, right? I got my BBL body naturally because I lost the weight naturally. It sucked my stomach in. I had my boobs, I had my hips, they didn't go away. So I had my natural BBL body because I went the distance being a mother, right? I took the naturalist route, right? I decided to be a mother. I decided to nurse my kids and not put them on formula. But it's really sad though, because, Cardi B is getting a lot of, flack from her fans because they're like saying that she's gotten surgery. And, I look at Cardi B's body and, I feel sorry for that woman. I don't know if this is an industry thing that they're making her do to promote this to women, right? Because some of these women got to do things in the industry under contract that they may not necessarily want to do. But let's just say Cardi B wants to do all these things to her body, right? A doctor has to tell her that, you have a very small frame, right? And what they don't tell you is that, when you start disproportioning your body, right, you start having spinal cord issues, you start having back issues. A lot of these women who are getting BBLs, they're saying, I can't sleep. I have to sleep a certain way, right? A lot of them are saying that when they gain weight, it's going right to the BBL area, so they're feeling kind of awkward. They have to actually start getting reductions. Like there's so many after effects to these surgeries that I don't feel like people, I don't know if they don't care about them because they just want to be in the trend or what, but I just think that this is dangerous.
Right? What they don't tell you about BBLs is that the fat can die.
Mainly damn. What do you mean? What do you mean the fat dies?
Those are all fat cells.
Yeah.
Those fat cells, from being disturbed, from being moved, from being
Disturbed and
spun
moved.
and all the
Taken
things that
out
they use
their
to it,
original
environment, they can die. Your body can reject it.
Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
it's not giving it the nutrients of what it needs.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 months after this. Did my fat not die?
And what does that
She said 3-4 months after she got her BBL, the fat died.
mean?
So it basically means you end up like peeing it out.
So you end up peeing out your
Not
BBL
fat cells
after
that.
6
you don't
months?
pee. Okay, so
No,
for
it's-
example,
yeah.
like
What'd you say?
I was
Back to square one.
no.
So I guess like wow. 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 So she basically spent all that money and only for the BBL to just go away because that must have been a cheap BBL. That must have been a cheap BBL. Like, I mean, is this a normal situation for BBL? Any BBL broads in the house? Like, your fat cell dies in what? What did she say? After 5 months? How does it leave your body? This is what I want to know. How does the fat leave your body?
Wait. And you know what?
She said she pissed it out.
BBL is.
She pissed the BBL out.
Is the most dangerous surgery.
Yeah, it is.
Because the amount of arteries and veins and all that sort of stuff you're having. Right? At any point they can nick an artery. If fat goes into your artery, you're dead. There, bum.
Yeah.
Because it's going straight to your heart. Because before this, I was like, oh yeah, do what you want, do you want. Don't do a BBL. Don't do it.
Whew, Lord. And that I think they said that's what happened to that girl Jackie O, that she had some pulmonary issues because the fat leaked into her bloodstream or something, and it just took her out the game. Trying to have a mommy makeover, and I heard that young lady talking one time, and she was like, "All the women in my circles have BBL," so it's just like, you know. I don't know. Do they teach people like, not like how do people think for themselves? Like, are people thinking for themselves? I don't really understand this. It says tissues can dispose rapidly anywhere on the body or head. Wow. Now I wonder what is the cause, because Vivica Fox is also getting some heat from some of her fans, but Vivica, she may have a combination of a few things going on, but Vivica definitely has fillers in her face. And I know when a woman has like over filler in her face because they start looking like sawdolls to me. Like there's something sawdolly about the way these fillers kind of start making some of these women start looking over time. So Vivica's getting some, I don't understand why Vivica did anything to herself. All she had to do was work out, go to the gym. Vivica could have just aged like fine wine. Like she's 60 years old, but I know a lot of beautiful black women who are 60 years old and they don't look like Vivica Fox. Vivica Fox is a product of artificial enhancements to her body that are probably catching up to her. And who knows what some of this stuff is really doing to these women's body over time, like their organs and stuff. I don't hear anybody really talking about that stuff because it's all about the beauty and the enhancement. So let me know what you guys think. But I will say, if you are contemplating getting a BBL, this sister is telling you what they do not tell you. What they do not tell you is that the fat can die. And in her situation, the fat died within 5 months after she had her surgery. So, you all, do what you want to do, right? It's your life, right? But always know the risk, right? Risk matter. Risks do matter, especially when it's your life, right? And she's saying this is one of the most dangerous surgeries that you could get, right? But she wanted that look, right? And she was willing to take the risk. And she enjoyed that risk that she took for all of what, 2 or 3 months before the fat started dying. And basically, she was back to looking like Barney. Just go to the gym, work out, intermediate fast, and drink water, But don't do that. Don't do that. And according to Corey Holcomb, the men aren't checking for it. Like, I hear some of these dudes talking, and they say, you got the BBL chicks, and then you got the chick that you create the family with, and actually you do the parent teacher conferences with, right? Like, these are like you cheat on your good chick with these chicks, right? You make them feel like they're that chick, even though you're never ever gonna wife them. You're never gonna leave your wife for them, right? You're just gonna probably have a little fun, and then when you're like, okay, I need to get loyal, you're gonna dump her, right? This is how these men think about women who choose to over sexualize themselves. I remember I'm a 90s baby, so like I'm over 40, so it's like I didn't have to grow up with these type of pressures. All right? So like I feel bad for you young ladies who are buying into these pressures. But I just remember, like, what did they used to say, when I was growing up? There was an old saying, dang. It was there, but we didn't have these type of pressures when I was growing up at all. You know, and I mean, shoot, we might have been dying about some stuff, but it wasn't no BBLs. Like, this is crazy. But these brothers don't respect women like this. What you talking about, Corey?
You getting your cheeks pulled back in one of them surgery rooms. Ugh. I think I like you better if you do this. Okay.
But so he's just talking about what a crony Cardi B is to these surgeries and sexualizing herself. And again,
around the house, you getting your cheeks pulled back.
There's the hoes and the housewives, right?
I think I like you better.
These are toys.
Okay.
These are memorabilia.
So I just don't think
they're
that
not the
women
same
are getting
woman.
BBLs to impress. Like
the BBL bitches are the hoes, the toys. And if any, and it's like men, think about a child when they get a new toy these days. Kids don't even play with toys like that, right? They'll play with them for all of like 2-3 minutes, and they abandon ship. Like, I'm not even interested in it anymore. That's how these men are with these whores, right? They're harlots, and they over sexualize themselves, and one day, these ladies hopefully will learn to respect the temple that is their body. We all had to learn that. We've all had to learn it. But to me, these women are like beyond just being whores, defiling their temple. They're defiling their temple with all this like satanic carvery. That's what it is. It's satanic carvery.
They're not necessarily getting BBLs or getting their bodies done or whatever to impress men. I don't think
BS. Let me tell you, there is nothing sadder than a chick going into a club with a BBL and walking out with no dude. That happens all the time. They be pissed as hell. Nobody was checking for them, and they spent all that money, sacrificed their life for this body, and there's no dude checking for them. It's crazy. It's insane.
That's true. I don't think women are getting BBLs to impress a man, because let me tell you something. You could have a elbow and they're gonna
Well, yeah, vagina definitely doesn't have a face. I mean, a lot of dudes be humping on anything.
BBLs. But we're not taking that to the parent-teacher conference.
This one, here it is.
You go out to Miami, you rent that Lamb, you rent that Ferrari. You can't drive at home. It's fun to drive out there, but no, I'm not paying for this. This shit going back to the rental office when I'm done with it. That's what we do with BBLs. But we're not taking that to the parent-teacher conference. Talking in
I put up an important post where I said, men don't like BBLs. Men are just sexually attracted to naked women.
How dare you?
plastic surgery.
So he said, you know, they're they don't like the BBLs. He said they're just sexually attracted to naked women. And this is true.
Attracted. Women are often poke at men and say men will hit anything. And to a certain extent, it's kind of true.
Yes! Randy Watson!
And shout out to THPP Network. Fair usage.
To what you want to look like.
Another tip talk.
So there's a lot of guys, I've heard this before. They say, like, we'll play with it, but we won't take it home. You know what I mean? And so, you know, and I think a lot of it kind of boils down to just, you know, how secure a woman is, right? Like, I don't think a lot of men want a woman that doesn't have some sense of security about herself. I mean, and it does say a lot about a woman if she has to keep having all these surgical enhancements to, you know, feel better about herself. Like I said, I'm over 40. I do got friends in my group, not black women, but I have some white women friends, and they get fillers all up in their face, right? Fillers all up in their face, right? And just like even then, like, you know, when I do this little phrase, you see the little wrinkles. I had a friend was like, you know, we can you don't have to have that. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, look at mine. And it was smooth. Like when she moved her expressions, like she did not have any wrinkles like that. There was no draw up like mine. She didn't have any laugh lines like me. But I look at like these fillers as this is way too close to my brain for me to just have you guys sticking and pinning little solutions into my forehead so that I don't have wrinkles when I make certain expressions. It's like I'll just take the L on getting older, right? I don't care about that. I'll just take the L, right? I will take the L. I'll be 42 soon. I'll take the L. I'm getting older. My face is not young anymore, and I concede to that. But what I will not do is put man-made solutions into my face so that I can immobilize some muscles so that I can have this appearance of youth. Y'all do that. That's not my thing, right? And you're gonna end up looking like a sawdowel after a while, keeping doing that. Look at Madonna. Madonna is the perfect example of filler overload. Madonna, when Joan Rivers was alive, Melissa Rivers, these are fillers overload. And the reoccurring thing with these women is they start looking like sawdowels. They do, right? You know, but you contrast some of these women to women in their age group that didn't do all that, and you're going to see a better graceful age. It's not going to look weird or artificial. It's going to look more graceful. And I mean, obviously, it's up to you to decide what you behold as beautiful. But I just think some of these women with all these fillers and frozen muscles in their faces, I can imagine that is attractive to men. You know, I just can't imagine that they find that attractive. So shout out to my sisters. Like, my thing is, if you want to wear hair extensions, to me, that's not a big deal. I love my weave. Shout out to my Cambodian bitches. I love your hair, right? But what I will not do is inject things in my body. I will not inject things in my bloodstream, in my body, right? I won't. Like, that's where, you know, my beauty standards have its limits. Like, the weave is my limit. All right? That's my limit, right? But I'm not about to start injecting. That's just dangerous. And another thing too, and I said this about Nicki Minaj's BBL, because hers is just looking botched as hell. I don't care what nobody say. Neither Nicki or Cardi have the frame for the bodies that they have. They look awful. They are tiny frame women. And what they're not going to really confess to a lot of their fans who are going and getting these, going overseas and risking their lives to get these surgeries to achieve their bodies, what they're not telling you is that you're going to have a lot of back pain if you don't have a frame for all that ass and all those titties. You know, our bodies are the physics of our body is made naturally the way it was for a reason. So when you start adding and enhancing, you're taking a lot of risk. And I bet you if a lot of these women were honest, they will tell you that they have a lot of back pain and that they can't sleep right. You know, I bet you Nicki Minaj will look 90 when she's 50. Yeah, Nicki Minaj is doing a lot. And me and Nicki are the same age. Me and Nicki are the same age. And, you know, I can tell she's had fillers. I can tell she's had fillers. But her butt is not, it doesn't match her frame. Cardi's hips, I don't know what this shape she's trying to, she says she likes to look like a guitar. Like, who the hell ever aspired to look like a guitar shape? Like, I don't understand that at all. What? Let me go back to this because she said I like to look like a guitar. I'm like, what the hell?
Y'all was just praising my body a couple days ago. Do y'all think I went and got surgery in 2 days?
It's a made-up tale.
I didn't get my period in February, but Dr. G, like, I got there, and
these doctors probably forcing this child to get surgeries. It's I think it's part of the satanic like influence machine to get these women to do these drastic things in the name of fashions and trends, all the while these women are risking their lives doing this. But she said she wanted to be shaped like a guitar. And it's so funny because I have a guitar in my room. I've always had an acoustic guitar since I was 15. And I'm looking at my guitar shape and I'm really just like perplexed. Like, why would she want to be shaped like this? Like, I don't get it. But y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I meant to add this in my live stream, the last one. And like I said, I closed the window. But even Lotto talking about she regret her BBL.
We know that some of you are going to be upset, but it's okay. In 30-year leader rap in a court starts out for those two.
Look at this girl.
If I don't get a good night's sleep,
This is the girl talking about her BBL, and she can't sleep.
I don't get a good night's sleep most of the time because I have to sleep a certain way. If I don't prop my pillows a certain way and I sleep with like 6 of them, then I just don't sleep comfortably because I have to cushion my back, like put pillows to help my back out, because if I don't, this will keep me bent up.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Like, oh my God.
Is my main one because it affects me on a daily basis.
When men are
and I'm pretty sure dudes would definitely be into this. Like, I mean, her body looks like a medium built woman with an obese woman's, like some Gilbert Grape mom thighs there. Like, what's eating Gilbert Grape?
tapping into their sexual fantasies or in settings like the smart fantasy and lascivious whack.
That's crazy. But she said she cannot sleep because she has to sleep with like 6 pillows. Why would you put yourself through this? And she looks like one of those people, like if I'm in, I'm all in. And I mean, she's shaped like, it goes like, Jesus. And it's crazy because there are some women in African countries that got the natural BBL bodies. And it's crazy how much people, they hate on a black woman, but they just be doing their best to achieve our natural curves.
I get a lot of laughing behind, like when I walk by somebody, I catch it all the time, especially from women, which is crazy, but I would say women are like the biggest ones that make me feel uncomfortable, that make me feel insecure about it, because even like young girls, like I could be in a store and there'll be a group of little teenage girls and they'll just start laughing under their breath, as soon as they see my butt or whatever. So that's like been a big one, because depending on your mood, like I'm human, and obviously there's days that I don't feel my best. So if I walk into some place and I have stares or people snickering under their breath,
but look what you did to your body. I don't understand this. Like, what did you expect people to do when you look this overly enhanced? Like, people are going to be perplexed as to what they're looking at. Hey, I mean, this girl, man, wow.
Just looking at my body, then it can get to you, and it can be a little bit crazy. And I know some people are gonna say like, oh, well, it comes with the territory. You probably did it for attention. I really didn't do it for attention. Obviously, everybody has their own insecurities of why they got their body done. But
so she didn't do it for attention. She didn't do it for attention. She didn't do it for attention. But you definitely are getting attention. I mean, when you enhance your body, like these women are enhancing their body to these drastic degrees. I mean, I don't understand what else they expect to get. But anyways, what time? Oh, it's 9:00. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. I pray for everybody. I pray for you, young sisters. I really do. I do. Because you don't have any good role models. You don't have any good role models. And all the trends and fads that Satan got you guys buying into, some of y'all is going to lead you down a road to destruction or death. And so I pray for y'all. I pray for y'all. I'm not facilitating this conversation to be critical of these insecure women, because that's what they are. They are insecure women. They believe that, in order to get attention, they need to hypersexualize themselves, right? Real secure women don't have to hypersexualize themselves, right? And it goes back to those 5 social values, right? Men are going to find value in women for a variety of different reasons. And don't think that like a kind of cute, not sexualized, but super ass smart woman is not attractive to men, because that can be. And I will tell you, young sisters, to aspire to be that. All right. Aspire to be a woman that can be of value to a man beyond your physical appearance. Because when God created Eve, he was creating a complement, a helper, not a sexual object. And, it's so funny. That's what I was going to say. I grew up in the 90s. And when I was growing up, they said that hip hop sexualized women, that black men in hip hop sexualize black women. How the tables have turned. They don't even need the black men to sexualize them these days. They just do such a great job themselves. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. We all can be mentors to these young ladies. They need to find value. They need to find value. They need to find value. That's what it is. These young ladies need to find value, right? And we hope that they find it. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. And we will keep the pragmatic conversations going. I'm not trying to demonize these women, but they are harlots. They are harlots. They are Jezebels. And, Jezebel was eaten by dogs for her wickedness. And not saying these women are wicked, but there is a level of wickedness when you are running around hypersexualizing yourself around men. And sometimes you got men out here, they're really trying to kind of keep themselves grounded with God. And you got all these harlots running around half naked with their BBLs, right? Making it hard for these brothers to stay true and faithful. So, you know, we'll pray for y'all. So good night, y'all. I'm getting tired now. Bye.